Fire that left many mourning the loss of a building that brought a community together, and worse, claimed the life of their close friend.
He had a huge amount of personality, and he was kind of a big part of that, for better or worse.
Well, arson investigators are still looking into what caused the fire at 954 Shelby Street. For 6 years, it's been home to the Louisville Assembly of Vanguard Artists, and the last place one of the neighborhood's familiar faces would call home.
I guess we were just living art in every aspect.
Usually music and paintings come out of 954 Shelby Street. Now rubble is all that's left of a dream.
These are the ashes of a dream.
Saturday, fire ripped through the lava house and destroyed everything inside the warehouse. Bill Christie lived in one of its apartments for 10 years.
He had a huge amount of personality, and he was kind of a big part of that, for better or worse.
But in the worst of times,
I was just screaming and crying, going, "Where's Bill? Where's Bill? Where's Bill?"
the flames were just too much.
I was like, "You're gonna be okay. You hear me? You're gonna be okay."
Bill died from his burns Sunday afternoon.
He was like our grandfather, and we did all kinds of things and everything with him. We helped him out. We helped clean, and we helped do all kinds of things.
Samantha Harris is a high school freshman who loves art.
I really love to come up here because I love helping everybody.
Pam Harris used to come down to Shelby Street to get away.
It was a place to get away and feel comfortable, and you didn't have to look over your shoulder, you know.
It's where Jen Futrell spent a lot of time on her music.
And it gave us a creative space, you know, where we could just do anything.
A warehouse for up-and-coming artists to mold their dreams.
I look all around here, I see all these old industrial buildings, smokestacks and water towers and just beautiful things, and I feel a hope that we can like occupy these places and make a new future that's awesome and beautiful. And that's what we were doing in the lava house. That's what it was like in there. It was a dream.
I asked founder Aaron Conaway if he planned to rebuild the lava house. He tells me he looks at this experience as the end of an era and he wants to start again, but says the new warehouse will have a different name.
And one person is killed, others left homeless after a multi-alarm fire in the Shelby Park neighborhood. Good evening, I'm Natasha Collins.
And I'm Steve Bergen. Bill Christie, the only person injured in last night's fire, died around noon today at University Hospital.
Haley Lampert is live at the fire scene on Shelby Parkway. She joins us with more on tonight's big story. Haley?
Steve and Natasha, this is what's left of the massive fire that broke out here last night. Now, firefighters are still on the scene. They've been putting out hot spots throughout the day today and keeping the scene secure while arson investigators continue to try to figure out how this all started.
I don't think it's really hit me yet. I don't think it's really hit any of us completely.
It hasn't hit the tenants who lived here and the artists who worked here that nothing is left. A fire broke out just before 11 Saturday night, destroying a warehouse with an art studio inside, a two-story apartment building, and damaging nearly a dozen other nearby buildings. It also sent one man to the hospital with severe injuries. A university hospital official has confirmed that man has since died. Friends identified him as Bill Christie and say he had been living in a mobile home inside the warehouse.
We were very close with Bill. He's a good friend, and we all loved him dearly.
Aaron Conaway is one of the artists who worked out of the studio called the Louisville Assembly of Vanguard Art, or the Lava House.
Pretty much everything inside the building is just completely gone. If it wasn't metal, it's just history.
Pretty early in the fire, we had a collapse on one side of the building. We had some of the roof collapse in. And then due to the amount of fire that was in the building, what our goal was to stop it from spreading further down the street.
A team of 75 firefighters got the fire contained but didn't get it under control for several hours. On Sunday, arson investigators returned to the scene, trying to figure out what caused the fire as they sorted through a smoldering pile of rubble and ashes.
It's going to be a huge loss, absolutely, and I guess just time will tell. Something will rise out of the ashes, I'm sure.
Now, fire officials say they're still looking into whether arson is a possibility here. The Red Cross was out here last night assisting any tenants who were displaced by the fire.
The close proximity of the homes to this fire, many of them were damaged from flying debris, and the heat from the blaze even melted some of the siding on the homes.
Like I said, this is the wreckage of our dreams. We're going to have to get a new warehouse now.
The Lava House, that stands for the Louisville Assembly of Vanguard Artists. It came together in 2001 as a place for artists to rent workspace. But over the years, it had become much more than that.
It's a tremendous loss. A lot of people did a lot of really good stuff for the community out of here. I know David Caudell worked out of here. It was a good place. A lot of collaboration. It's a loss. Good loss.
But out of the ashes, the family of artists goes on.
People will continue to persevere and work on their art. You know, that's kind of the point. And things like this will, be a source of probably some inspiration to move forward.
Kelsey Starks, WHAS 11 News.
And again, still no word tonight on what actually started that fire. Arson investigators were on that scene throughout today, and they say their investigation could take weeks.
Good evening, I'm Julie Tam. A massive fire at an art warehouse turns deadly. It happened near Shelby Parkway and Logan Street just before 11 last night. Fire crews have spent most of the day searching for hot spots, and Fox 41's Bennett Haberly explains what he has uncovered.
When a fire is this hot,
We've got about 75 firefighters here with the third alarm.
it melts the sides of buildings.
We've got damage to probably 10 or 12 others, some with just melted siding. We've got quite a number of vehicles that were parked on the street.
It's pretty hot. You had to keep backing up. You couldn't stay out here too long.
When a fire is this hot, it draws neighbors from several streets away.
4 or 5 blocks away, we could smell it. Our car, was filled with smoke.
All the flame was coming up really bigger.
The day after, a handful of artists returned to survey the damage, and others can't forget the sight of a man pleading for help.
He was out here, when I came outside, he was out here screaming, people was helping him. They was running over here grabbing water and stuff, throwing it on him. Then, from what I heard, he passed away earlier today.
The man many identified as Bill Christie died Sunday. The owner says he lived here for several years. He lived in a space with a lot of history, a warehouse that once played host to art shows and concerts, metalwork, and streetcars. Now both he and the warehouse are gone. This fire not only affected lives, it affected livelihoods. You can see more than 15 hours later, there are smashed windshields. There's still a little bit of smoke coming from the wreckage where artists had their workspace. They not only had art, they worked on cars and had just finished doing some repair work on this Blazer this week.
This is a life-altering, life-changing event for these people.
As fire investigators continue to dig for answers, people who live and work around the warehouse are trying to salvage whatever they can.
It would probably take a long time to rebuild and get back to where they were.
Prayers go out to the man that died and his family.
The owner of the building says the structure dates back to 1890, but the space was most recently referred to as the Lava House. It's an acronym for the Louisville Assembly of Vanguard Artists, who have used it since 2001. There's still no official cause on the fire, though firefighters say it appears to be accidental.